All right, peace, everyone. Assalamu alaikum, Veda Maker. Welcome to the Moroccan Post School of Government and International Law Advanced Study Group. Today is March 7th, 2024, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for joining us. All right, this is for all our benefits. We also have the Moroccan Post School of Government, Moroccan Post Advances, Moroccan Post School of Government International Law Advanced Study Group Telegram page. All right, so you see up here, we have the Moroccan Post. This Advanced Study Group began, will run through August 24th. I have all the dates listed. As somebody requested, I have all the dates listed as you go through. You see all the dates listed. Did what for something me to do. So we have, we have the Moroccan Post, we have the Telegram group. Yannick, if you're on, somebody put in the chat the link to the invite link to the advanced to the Telegram group. I sent that to Sister Mia Moore. You have that, Sister San. You have that, Brother William. You have that link, the invite link to the Telegram page. So we also have the Moroccan Post media YouTube page. So we get the Moroccan YouTube page. So we have the founder, the co-founders of the school. We have the co-founder, administrator Terrence Bay, Shem Malachi Bay, co-founder, curriculum developer, and teacher. Myself, Abdullah Il Telemosi Bay, co-founder, curriculum developer, and teacher. King Il Bay, teacher. And we're also going to include Brother Michael, who was one of our students since 2020. He will also be teaching after King. So I'll be doing three. This is the part one of a three-part series. So this will go for a month and a half because we have class every other week. And then King will come on after me for 2 sessions, and then Brother Michael for 2 sessions. And we might have Brother Vicerious. And you say, well, why we have these brothers? And I want to address that, because those questions have been addressed over the years. Why the brothers? Why all the brothers? All right. Whenever the sisters are ready, the floor is open, to teach. All right. It's our duty in order to advance the people, we need qualified teachers. We need to so King being qualified with 12 years of litigation. And so he's open. So Brother Michael has also done litigation. So Brother Michael's been with us since 2020. All right. So this is why. So what we have to bring qualified people before you in order for us to raise the people up. So as sisters are ready to teach, the platform is open. All right, so I wanted to address that because I know those questions are out there. All right, free recorded courses and seminars on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. We have the Moroccan Moorish Body Politic Formation, Constitution and Governmental Principle course, 12 classes. The Moorish Treaty Protection of Consular Relations course 101, Moorish Treaty Protection of Consular Relations 201. That's about 12 or so classes. So definitely. So we have the upcoming study book, supplementing the recorded courses, Treaty Enforcement and International Law study book, Consular Notification study book, Central Authority study book, Writ of Corowanto study book, Letter of Rogatory study book, Moorish Body Politics study book. This is a university, y'all. This is we running it like a university, qualified teachers, structure lessons. All right, as I meet with Brother King, and I help, he dictates to me. We help him structure his lessons. I've done with Shem for 5 years. So we are very serious and focused. We want to give our people the best. as we're preparing us to be ambassadors and consuls and, wazirs and of defense and education and so forth. We have to need qualified people. Whoever defines the language controls the issue. Whoever defines the language controls the issue. The basic tool for the manipulation of reality is, these are two different quotes. The basic tool for the manipulation of reality is the manipulation of words. If you can control the meaning of words, you can control the people who must use them. Now, so we can move on to the next one. We have the flyer. We have on May 18th, and I would like for all of y'all to post this flyer on your social media platforms. I also sent something out about to fulfill you all today to post and share. So post and share this flyer, and also on your social media platforms, talk about the upcoming conference. So this is on May 18th here in Philadelphia. The Moorish American Governance, Birthright and Nationality Claim Conference, Political Unity. You have here the Moors, misnomers, Blackmore. All right, so you have Blackmore spelled in the 1560 Geneva Bible, Blackmore spelled in the 1599 Geneva Bible. Article 15, Section 1 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights states, quote, everyone has a right to a nationality. Principle 3 of the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of the Child states, quote, the child shall be entitled to a name and nationality. UNESCO proclaimed 1979 as the International Child. Also, I found 2 weeks ago that UNESCO proclaimed 1989 as the International Year of the Youth. So we have two. We have the International Year of the Child, 1979, 1989, 10 years later, 1989, the International Year of the Youth. All right, so location, Majestic Hall, 800 West Alney Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19130. Time of the event starts at 10 a.m. to 12 midnight. Cost $125. Hope to see some of y'all in the house. Includes lunch, dinner, and Moorish ball. So we have once again, you can post this flyer. We'll put this flyer on. I'll post it on. Can someone post it on the Telegram page? Someone post this flyer on the Telegram page. Grab it off the page and post it on your various social media platforms. Go live and talk about the upcoming event. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about your own thoughts and your own words about the upcoming conference? What do you expect out of it? So definitely. So we want to I'm requesting that you help us market the conference. All right, on your social media platform pages. All right. So all right. So we're gonna dive right into it. All right. We'll dive right into it. Show as Terrence brings Section 1, orientation, February 1st. So February 1st was orientation, was our first session.
Hold on.
Malachi Bay. Yeah, I just don't want to dead air, so I'm gonna continue talking.
You got it.
All right. So we have this will run until the end of August. The third Thursday in August will be the last study group session. So this will run even after the conference. So gets it up. So as we have all, as I said before, I have all the dates listed. Once again, we have the free courses on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. We also have paid courses available, but we have our free courses on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page.
I didn't find it in here. So give me 1 second. I'm going to pull
Share
it up.
And post some of the classes on your social media platforms. All right, so we're going to get started here. All right, so I'm excited. This is not it. This is not it.
What do you want me to pull up?
What I emailed you yesterday. Yeah, this is not it.
Second, that's what I told you. This is
yeah, what I emailed you yesterday. Yeah, yesterday evening. All right, so we'll continue to I'll continue to talk.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so we have the Telegram. The Telegram page is available for you all and for you to post, ask questions. If you're able to answer the questions that are posed, I constantly post things, but I'm actually holding back for a few days and giving opportunity for others to post and share their thoughts. Anything that you find interesting that will illuminate the group, share to the page. Yeah, so we have here, there was like session 1 orientation. That was February 1st. Shamalakai Bey's history of developing his plan to facilitate the restoration of Moorish national political unity and the purpose of the Moorish Governance, Birthright, and Nationality Claim Conference on May 18th, 2024 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the Lena Hawking Territory. Moorish Governance, Birthright, and Nationality Claim Conference in Philadelphia on May 18, 2024, a political mechanism of restoring the domestic and international politics to protect and secure the common good of our people, both conscious Moors and unconscious Moors, and to serve as the caretaker and voice for them among the family and nations. Session 2, which was February 15, 2024, developing jurisdictional competency among the Moors through the analysis of jurisdictional incompetency. What can a Moor accomplish individually outside the Moorish treaties to help the millions of conscious and unconscious Moors? Moorish nationality and pre-existing Moorish sovereignty, Moorish nationality and domestic protection, Moorish nationality and consular protection. Jurisdictional competency, jurisdictional competence. Points of analysis, the first 15 minutes, a brother in Michigan jurisdiction. Excerpts from the Moorish Body Politic Formation meeting, June 2nd, 2021. And so this was actually read, we reviewed it. And so these 2 sessions are on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. Tonight's session will be recorded, or as all the sessions will be recorded and uploaded either the next day or the day after on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. All right, so you are able to share that. I will also share it for the Love of Moors Telegram page, also for the on the Moroccan, on the Advanced Study Group Telegram page, and I actually share that to hundreds of people myself, and you can do the same. Post it on your social media platform. All right. So we can move past this, Terrence. Session 3, which is tonight, March 7th, proving the claims to disprove the misconception claims taught by conscious Moors for several decades. Part 1. This is a part 1 of a 3-part series. So you'll see my face for 2 more times, hear my voice. All right, and after me will be King Yobei. All right, so this is part 1. Once again, proving the claims to disprove the misconception claims taught by conscious Moors for several decades. Part 1, claim 1. The construction of the United States Constitution is the continuation of European conquest and colonization as the game plan and the instrument to maintain control of our Moorish estates. The onus on me is to prove that claim. The onus is on me to prove that claim. That's my claim, is the Constitution of the United States the construction of the United States Constitution is the continuation of European conquest and colonization as the game plan and instrument to maintain control of our Moorish estate. That is Abdullah Il-Talim Mosi-based claim. I aim to prove it. All right. Claim 2. Moorish Americans are neither part and parcel nor part and parcel of the United States government. That is Abdullah-based claim. I aim to prove it. Abdullah, my claim 3. Moorish Americans are part and parcel to the land and not to the said government. So I aim to prove that we are native to the land. All right. Claim 4, Moors are not we the people of the United States in the preamble to the United States Constitution. That is my claim. I aim to prove that. Claim 5, the United States Constitution is not the Moorish Constitution. That is my claim. I aim to prove that. Claim 6, the United States federal government is not the Moorish government. That is my claim. I aim to prove that. All right. Session 4, which is in 2 weeks, March 21st, 2024. This is Bill Part 2, proving the claims to disprove the misconception taught by conscious Moors for several decades, Part 2. Claim 1, the foundational authority of each of the 13 original states to operate its political body and authority as a state in the surveyed boundaries written into each of the 13 English British colony charters is derived from the conquest sovereign power of England/Great Britain, relinquished, granted to each of the states through Article 1 of the 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and the United States. Claim 2. The personal rights, and this is also teaching, watch my flow, y'all, and I'm also teaching how to construct arguments, how to construct it, and how to prove or disprove claims. Right? Claim 2, the personal rights, land grants, towns, religious societies, educational institutions, granted to Spanish subjects by the Spanish crown, to French subjects by the French crown, and to English-British subjects by the English-British crown during the 15, 16, and 1700s are protected by treaties with the United States under Article 3, Section 2, and Article 6 of the United States Constitution. Session 5, which will be Part 3, which is April 4th, proving the claims to disprove the misconception claims taught by conscious Moors for several decades, Part 3. The history and politics surrounding the Northwest Territory and the Northwest Ordinance of 1787, each from France to England/Great Britain to Virginia Colony to the Virginia State to the United States and Congress assembled. The settlement of huge land disputes of the 13 original states over a vast portion of Moorish land. A major issue surrounding the United States Constitutional Convention of 1787. Let me read this again. The history and politics surrounding the Northwest Territory and the Northwest Ordinance, that's Michigan, Minnesota, Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois. I say Illinois, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Minnesota. So that was under France's control. France exercised French territorial sovereignty through French conquest and colonization of our land. All right, going back to the late 1500s. So that was ceded to Great Britain in 1763. So we're going to there. I'll say this is a major issue surrounding the United States Constitutional Convention of 1787. Major issue leading up to the Constitutional Convention. So I'm going to session 6, April 18, 2024. This will be, I'll teach this as well. Developing jurisdictional competency among the Moors, and I may have King teach this with me. Developing jurisdictional competency among the Moors through the analysis of jurisdictional incompetency. What can a Moor accomplish individually outside the Moorish treaties to help the millions of conscious and unconscious Moors? So I'll have King and I will actually present this. So King and I will actually teach this this session. Does the power of Article 3, Section 2 of the United States Constitution extend to most cases? Does Article 3, Section 3 of the United States Constitution extend to compensatory extraterritoriality, extraterritorial consular jurisdiction, and foreign consular courts established through treaty? King did a wonderful job. You know, as I know, I've been doing Moorish Monday on the Crystal Pyramid platform since the early part of December of last year. So King had done part 2 this past Monday. Did a wonderful job. It's important that we bring forth other teachers so that the people that represents growth. People are just used to seeing Shem and myself. That will change. You'll see Shem, you'll see myself in Quasi, myself in Okono, myself in King, myself and Shem, you know, Yannick, myself, Yannick. So you'll see a combination, Michael, myself, Michael by himself. We're going to have a combination, Terrence and myself, Pacola and myself. You'll see a different number of teachers, all right? You'll see a different 20, 25 of us. You'll see different numbers of us as they're being prepared. I do countless hours of one-on-ones, all right? So we're representing growth. We need teachers preparing y'all to be consuls, ambassadors, all right? So it's time to step it up. We will challenge you. We have brothers and sisters are answering the bell. I'm ringing the bell and they're coming out of the seat. Bell is ringing, they're coming out of the chair with their boxing gloves on. All right, so I'm loving it. All right. Does the United States and United States Constitution have jurisdiction over our pre-existing Moorish sovereignty, Moorish treaties, and Moorish treaty protection of the 1500s, 16, 17, 1800s, pre-existing compensatory extraterritoriality, extraterritorial consular jurisdiction, pre-existing Moorish diplomatic relations, pre-existing Moorish consular authority, and pre-existing Moorish consular court jurisdiction. The key word, pre-existing. And why I'm gonna emphasize the pre-existing. I'm gonna reference a case. In 1968, Ceylon was classified as a new state by the International Law Commission of the United Nations Rights and Duties of State. The representative of Ceylon challenged that claim, and that claimed that Ceylon was actually a new state, an old state, and should be recognized and as such and re-enter the family of nations under the reversion to sovereignty as an old and original state. The representative of Ceylon in 1968 pointed to 19th century treaty and diplomatic relations, proving that Ceylon was indeed an old and original state and should re-enter the international family of nations under the reversion to sovereignty. As such, so we're going to use the prefix, never use establish, use the prefix re, back and again, re, all right, reclaim, restore, reestablish, renew, pre-existing sovereignty claim, pre-existing. All right, continuing. I'm gonna make sure I set proper concepts here. I'm going to give you, as I go through this, I'm going to give you where my mind was for 25 years. Where my mind was from age 25 to age 50. That's from 1993 to 2018. That's where my mind was. I'm going to have you walk in my mindset for those 25-year periods. Some classes on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. Refugee to be or not to be, that is what was shown last week and 2 weeks ago. And Shim did an analysis on that, extensive analysis. Excerpt from Moorish Body Politic Formation meeting, June 2002, June 2, 2021. And you see these are the quotes here. All right, I won't read that. Next. Moorish Body Politic Formation, 12 classes. Moorish treaty enforcement through diplomatic channels, the United States Central Authority, Part 1 and 2. Sheikh Malachi Bey discuss the enforcement of Moorish treaties, supposed to be discusses the enforcement of Moorish treaties in the United States jurisdiction through the Central Authority of the United States, legislation to enforce treaties in international law. The United States courts have the lawful authority to hear Moorish cases, Part 1, 2, and 3. Episode 12, extraterritoriality, constant jurisdiction, session. So here we got this start. This is session 3 tonight. As you proving the claims to disprove the misconception claims taught by conscious Moors for several decades. Part 1 by Abdullah Il Talimosi Bey. All right. Claim 1. The construction of the United States Constitution is the continuation of European conquest and colonization as the game, plan, and instrument to maintain control of Moorish estates. Claim 2, so again, Moorish Americans are neither part and parcel nor part and parcel of the United States government. Claim 3, Moorish Americans are part and parcel to the land and not to this said government. Claim 4, Moors are not we the people of the United States in the Preamble to the United States Constitution. Claim 5, the United States Constitution is not the Moorish Constitution. Claim 6, the United States federal government is not the Moorish government. Now, for 25 years, I taught that it was. I taught for 25 years, all right? So that's where my mindset was. And when we get to the federal, I'll start explaining things. So I'll continue reading. Settlers, bureaucrats, and private land claims, the Little Arredondo Grant by Edward F. Kushul and Joe Netschi. Edward F. Kushul is a professor of history, Florida State University. Joe Netish is historian for the Division of State Lands, Division of Natural Resources, Tallahassee. The authors presented a version of this paper at the Florida Historical Society annual meeting, May 1989, Gainesville. In his study of the United States land policy, historian Paul W. Gates wrote, quote, "No problem calls Congress, officials of the General Land Office, and federal courts more difficulty or took up as much time as the private land claims that is the grant of land made by predecessor governments and areas acquired from Great Britain, France, Spain, and Mexico in the Oregon country by agreement with Great Britain." So this is our government. So you said, so to look at this, I'm gonna read this again. I must please walk with me, y'all. Walk with me. And I want you to walk with me with what I taught for 25 years. that this is our government, that this is our United States Constitution is the Moorish Constitution. I want you to put that in mind. I want you to think about that. Is this our government? Is the United States Constitution the Moorish Constitution? Look what's being addressed now. Our land. Read this again. In his study of United States land policy, historian Paul W. Gates wrote, quote, "No problem calls Congress, officials, or general land." He's not here. He went to go see. Hold on, y'all. All right. In his study of the United States land policy, historian Paul W. Gates wrote, "No problem caused Congress, officials of the General Land Office, and the federal courts more difficulty or took up as much time as the private land claims. That is the grant of land made by predecessor governments in areas acquired from Great Britain, France, Spain, Mexico, and the Oregon country by agreement with Great Britain." How do we fit into this? Like, this is our government. I got you. All right, this is our government. Yes. This is our Constitution. Yes. How do we fit into this? Like, are there returning land to us? Is this discussion in the courts about returning land to the Moors? I don't read that here. Let me see. Yeah, no problem caused Congress, officials of the General Land Office, and the federal courts more difficulty than how to return stolen land to the Moors. Hold on, let me put my glasses. Does it read that? So the federal courts, the General Land Office, and Congress discussed how to return land to the Moors. Like, no problem caused more difficulty than returning land to the Moors. Let me see. Hold on. Does it read that? Hold on. Let me fix my glasses. And I'm doing this, my brothers and sisters, to get us to think. So this is my style. So those of you who might be nosing or dozing off, all right, I'll do certain things like this to get you to think. To say, oh, it doesn't read that, Abdullah. So yes, I'm just doing that to wake you up. To spur thinking. And so here's the huge misconception that Abdullah Mosi Bey had taught to thousands of conscious and unconscious Moors for 25 years, from 1993 to 2018. All right. On the back of the Federal Reserve note, Terrence will have that up shortly. So I must have taken out of my wallet hundreds of times in a 25-year period. I took out of my wallet a one Federal Reserve note, turned it to the back. Remember, I dealt with thousands, y'all. I'm not, serious, through lectures and so forth. But it's a lot of countless one-on-one conversations at work, bus, train, bus stops, you name it. I pulled out the Federal Reserve note and say, so we'll, once Terrence pulls that up, and, on the left side is the pyramid. all Sinai at the top. On the right side is the eagle. And between them is the word one, and bold, all capital letters. And underneath the pyramid is the phrase, the Great Seal. Underneath the eagle is the prepositional phrase of the United States. And that was what we use as we call the evidence. That was the only thing that was used as what we would call, what we show as evidence that this is our government. There's no other documentation, no minutes from the United States Constitutional Convention. No other reference was used, and as a way of attempting to prove that the United States, that the Moors are the founders of the United States, that the United States Constitution is the Moorish Constitution. This is the only thing that was used as an attempt to prove. All right, so here we go again. You see here on the left side, the Great Seal. So we say, well, which side is so the lesson is, well, what side, all right, so is the Great Seal, the phrase, the Great Seal under? And which side is the phrase of the United States under? Then you will fold it, right? See, the obverse which means the principal side, the principal chief or main side of a building, a design, or seal. So we will say, so this is the obverse, the pyramid side. The pyramid side is the obverse. And then you turn, back to flip the Federal Reserve note, right, to show that the eagle is the reverse. See, the Moorish government has a dual national seal, the obverse and reverse. I must have said it, I've said that thousands of times in the 25-year period. So I want to have you walk with me, take this journey with me of where I was for 25 years. This was a huge holdup for Moors and Masonry Part 1. This here, because I was, in Moors and Masonry Part 1, I recall in 2007, I made a decision in 2007 because I was struggling with Moors and Masonry Part 1, 1995, 1996, 1997, 1998, 1999, 2000, 2001. I was struggling because how I'm going to prove this? I was trying to find evidence to prove that we the people of the United States, because I was going to use that as my central claim. My central claim was going to be for Moors and Masonry Part 1 was that we the people of the United States as the Moors. And I struggled with that for years. I struggled with that. I need you to walk with me. I struggled with that for years. As I said before, as some of you must have heard me say this. European co-workers laughed at me, which was one of the greatest experiences in my life. Said, Abdullah, you silly man. How can you say Europeans laughing at you was one of the greatest experience in your life? I said that, and I won't change that. I mean, I said the statement, and that won't change. I said the statement, yes. European co-workers laughing at me was one of the greatest experiences in my life. Why? I was in the talking. I was always talk to co-workers, teachers, and students. And one day we was in the gymnasium, the office where the teachers, the gym teachers office, which is, where when the gym is, and so we was in there, and yeah, 35 Moors was at the United States Constitutional Convention, so they asked me, to prove it, because which is their right to do with critical thinking, to prove it. And I couldn't. I was like, I was lost for words. And they laughed hysterically. They laughed hysterically. I felt this small. I felt this small. Europeans laughing at me hysterically. I felt this small. I could have said, F them. I'm going to continue teaching that. I could have done that. I mean, it could have gone both to one, And I said, I reevaluated, reexamined. It's because that experience, and that was like, oh, I can't push that. I gotta find this claim. I gotta support that we, the people of the United States, of the Moors. And so that, like I said, that held up because now I'm in a state of fear. I have to talk. I gotta share with you my mental. I have to. I was in a state of fear. Imagine I was laughed at hysterically by European co-workers. I didn't want to go through that again, that experience. So it was that fear. And so you got to understand, this hunger, this drive that I have. What's the origin of this drive of having exhibit upon exhibit? 10 is not enough. I feel 20 is not enough. 40 is not enough. And I said to Lawson Bay, I was talking to him today, Brother Lawson, we were on the phone for an hour today. I said, Lawson, nobody will out exhibit me. Nobody will out exhibit me. It's because of that experience. 10 ain't enough for me. I felt 20 is not enough. 30, 40 is not enough. You got to understand my experience. It's that drive, that pain, that embarrassment. So I got to explain my mental, my experience, because that's made me who I am. That's part of making me who I am, that experience. So that held up Moors and Masonry because I had to shift this. I had to shift where the main focus would be. And so it wasn't until 2013, say 2015, actually, 14 was when I had the treaties. I had the consolidated treaty series that's in Moors and Masonry, and those references. I've had them since the spring of 1999. I came across those in the Rutgers University Law Library, 3rd floor, Camden, New Jersey. Consolidated Treaty Series by Clyde Perry. So, I came across other books that reference the treaties in this Moorish enslaving Europeans and seasoned European ships, and I, found more and more books. And I said, oh, all right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on what I can prove. I'm going to make as my central focus, the central focus of my book. Let me turn this off. I thought I would be using my laptop. The central focus of my book. Give me 1 minute, y'all. Just give me 1 minute. The central focus of my book, Moors and Masonry Part 1, as you see now, those who have it, the Moorish power. The Moorish power. And so once I was settled on that, then Moors and Masonry was on her way. Moors and Masonry was on her way because I now had something solid, had something solid to work with as I found more and more references, more and more letters, and more. So things started to really come together. All right. So I know though I had misconceptions in the book, but the main focus is to show Moorish power. And you see they're re-examining the transatlantic slave trade claims in the context of Moorish power. So I made that the central focus of Moors and Masonry Part 1. So I became confident because I kept finding book after book after book after book after book, letters and references and archives and historical records. I said, oh, something solid, state records, amity records, war records, historical societies in France and England. And then now I said, oh, I got something solid I can really stand on. And my confidence grew. And the book was now coming to life. But for years, my brothers and sisters, there was, that struggle. That struggle. I don't know if I never told this before. So that struggle for years. So I finally overcame that. I had to say, no, I cannot make as my central theme the claim that we, the people of the United States, are the Moors. I cannot do that. I want my work to be taken seriously. I do not want to be laughed at again. All right. So you can pull it up, Terrence. I just wanted to share with them, and I'll continue to do so as we go throughout this presentation, or over the next 2 weeks, the next session as well. I'll continue to share my personal experiences. All right. We the people of the United States. I've read this thousands of times. The United States to form a more perfect union, establish justice, domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. And I, raised it. Do ordain and establish this Constitution, as I said it, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. See, there's two entities, y'all. See, there's two, and that's how I taught it. Two entities. So, right? See, we the people of the United States, that's the Moors. All right. The United States of America, that's the Europeans. All right. This is how I taught it for 25 years to thousands of people. And so I would take out the Federal Reserve note, and and I would read it. I would read this, and I even memorized it. And I would have the Federal Reserve note out and point, and I would showing the pyramid. So I'm showing the pyramid. We the people of the United States showing the pyramid. In order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, ensure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, and I do ordain and establish, and I turn to the eagle side. this Constitution for the United States of America. So I'm pointing to the eagle side. I'm saying for the United States of America, pointing to the eagle side. I did that thousands of times. All right, in the 25-year period. So these misconceptions have inhibited my growth and has inhibited the growth and development of thousands of conscious Moors, thereby inhibiting the growth and development of this Moorish movement, and has stalled our liberty and freedom. These misconceptions. These are huge, huge misconceptions. And once again, the only attempt at evidence is the back of that Federal Reserve note. No constitutional conventions, no minutes on the Constitution, no minutes, no documentary evidence. All right, so if that is a piece of evidence, the back of the Federal Reserve note, where are other pieces of evidence? Where are other pieces of evidence? So if we establish, where's pieces of evidence that show our establishment of the United States, that the Moorish government, because the claim is that the Europeans took over the Moorish government, that this is the Moorish government, like the Moorish government never fell. The Moorish government never fell. That the Europeans are sitting in the Moorish, this is the Moorish government is up and running. The Moorish government is up and running. The Moorish government never fell. All right. We have imposters. That's what we taught. Imposters in our seats. So the Europeans are wearing our fezzes and running our Moorish government. So we don't need to reestablish, restore anything, because the Europeans are running our Moorish government. The Europeans are running, you have the legislative branch, the executive branch, the judicial branch. This is the Moorish government. There's nothing, don't have no constitutional convention. We don't need to have a national government structure, and right, because we just have to, operate in our Moorish government. I taught this to thousands of people, and this is still being taught. This is still being taught. It like when I hear this now, taught by conscious Moors whom I've known for years, and I hear them still teaching this, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow. All right, I had to talk to someone. All right, so yeah, yeah. So continue right here. So where was I? As I said, as I listen to conscious Moors whom I've known for years teach these misconceptions, and I think about, wow, this is where I was for 25 years. Like, wow. And it's just, and being able to provide substantial amount of evidence to show that those are the misconceptions. So it's important as I go through this presentation to also explain to you my mindset, because that will also help the presentation, not just me doing this reading and reading, and I want to also explain, you know, the misconceptions that I had, not just read the misconceptions, but to go more in depth with my personal experiences that I've had, right? And the internal struggles that I've had, all right? And I must say that the past 5 years have been liberating. So I want to salute Shimalakai Bay for liberating me, all right, for helping, because my brother and sister say, well, I thought you would, then you know that you were more, but prior to you working with Shem Abdullah, you knew that you were more. That was not good enough. That was not good enough. I still felt, because I didn't have enough. You got to understand, I want liberation for our people in the worst way. I want liberation for our people in the whatever. I want liberation for our people. And so observing and getting calls, and fielding hundreds of calls from all over the country. Abdullah, my job, this agency, this such and such, don't accept the Moorish paperwork. Abdullah, they don't accept the Moorish nationality card. Abdullah, fielding hundreds of calls. To thy own self be true. To thy own self be true. Observing this, like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here? Like, we're doing these things, but we're not moving this thing along. And just seeing conscious Moors come and go, thousands. It's a turnstile. Thousands. 25-year period. Thousands. Turnstile. Gotta be real myself. I can't fake the funk like these other conscious Moors. I will not, to thy own self be true. I refuse. I am not going to fake the funk like these other conscious Moors. As if we're making progress. I'm not doing that. I've known Shem for 20 years. I had never worked with Shem before until April of 2019. And it's been liberating for the past 5 years. Like I said, I'm expressing myself without fear. I'm going to express how I feel without fear. Without fear. I'm expressing how I feel without fear. I'm being honest with you about my feelings, about my internal struggles. Hoping that as I go through these lessons here with you, it's important that I share my internal struggles. All right, continue, Terrence. Misconception. The preamble to the Constitution of the United States shows that the United States is the sovereignty of a pre-existing nation. The great Masonic secret that the Moors are the founders of the United States and that the United States is the Moorish sovereign power as symbolized in the two seals of the one great seal of the United States, the continental United States of the indigenous Moorish nation. That's misconception. Misconception. The phrase, we the people of the United States, represents the Moors, Moorish sovereignty, Moorish nation. The symbolism on the back of the one Federal Reserve note also symbolizes that the Moors established what is known as the federal government of the United States and that the federal government is actually the Moorish government. Misconception. The phrase, do ordain this constitution for the United States of America, representing the Moors, transferring the Moorish government and the Moorish sovereignty to the Europeans, the 13 original states. The English-British subjects who fought against the English-British crown during the Revolutionary War in the 1770. So the phrase, do ordain this constitution for the United States of America, as we taught, as I taught for 25 years, that is the transfer of the Moorish government. You know, the reason why the Europeans wear the Moorish fez, because the Moors transferred the Moorish government to the Europeans. So do ordain this constitution is the transferring the Moorish government to the Europeans. The federal government, that's the Moors. The state government, that's the Europeans. So the state governments, that's the states, that's the Europeans government. All right, that's the eagle. The state governments, that's the eagle. All right, the federal government, that's the pyramid. All right. So I want you to hold on to that. All right. A dual national Moorish government with an obverse, the Moors and Moorish sovereignty, and the reverse, the Europeans, as I explained. All right, continue, Terrence. We can move past this. I did explain this. The origin of the misconception. As I said before, I am speaking without fear. I am speaking without fear. I'm expressing it, and I can support everything I'm saying. Being Moorish American, you are part and parcel of this said government, and must live the life accordingly. The constitutional bylaws of the Moorish Temple of Science reads part and parcel of this said government. The constitutional bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America reads part and parcel of this said government. The misconception of the phrase a more perfect union in the preamble to the United States Constitution. So I have to, like I said, I have to first set the stage of the misconceptions. It's very important I do that. The word one between the preamble with the all-seeing eye at the pinnacle and the eagle defines the phrase in the preamble to the United States Constitution, a more perfect union. So the phrase a more perfect union was bringing the Moors and the Europeans together into one government, you know, the obverse and reverse. So the back of the Federal Reserve note and the word one is defining the symbolism of the phrase a more perfect union that's in the preamble to the United States Constitution. So we would teach, like I said, I taught that, a more perfect union, and I will point to the back of the Federal Reserve note. All right, continuing. The misconception taught by conscious Moors for over 50 years. Conscious Moors have interpreted Noble Drew Ali's statement in the Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Constitution, and bylaws. Being Moorish American, you are part and parcel of this said government and must live the life accordingly. And the statement in the Constitution and bylaws of the Moorish Science Temple of America, being Moorish American, you are part and parcel of this said government and must live the life accordingly, to mean the following. The pyramid, which appears on the back of the one Federal Reserve note, misrepresented as the $1 bill, is the great seal of the Moorish federal government, known to the world as the United States government. Continuing. The misconception taught by conscious Moors for over 50 years, the eagle on the back of the one Federal Reserve note misrepresented as the $1 bill is the seal of the United States of America, the state government in the Confederation. Let's analyze these claims, y'all. let's analyze these claims. If these claims be true, can I have a reader? If these claims be true, can I have a reader?
Let's
Yeah.
analyze these. Let's analyze these claims. If these claims be true, one, it would mean that the 13 original states did not organize as a confederation of the states under the Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union. Two, it would mean that the 13 states that confederated under the Article of Confederation and Perpetual Union in 1781 did not convene with their respective delegates at the United States Constitution Convention between March of 1787 to September of 1787. Three, it would mean that Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay did not write the 88 Federalist Papers to push for more perfect union and a stronger central government through the implementation of federalism. Four, it would mean that the delegates of the 13 original states did not draft the United States Constitution. Five, it would mean that the delegates of the 13 original states did not sign the United States Constitution. Six, it would mean that the 13 original states in 1788 did not have ratification conventions to ratify the United States Constitution. Seven, it would mean that the phrase, "we the people of the United States," quote unquote, in the preamble to the United States Constitution does not refer to the 13 original states delegating more power to create a more perfect union and a stronger central government under the principles of federalism as promoted by Alexander Hamilton, James Madison, and John Jay in the 88 Federalist Papers.
All right, Terrence, you want to pull up and we'll pull up a few more times the 13, yeah, the will.
Yep, I got you. One second.
All right, so this is Terrence one that thought it was good that I show my handwritten, my hand-drawn will so as to show y'all how I study. I've done this over the years when I do flow charts and things of this matter, all right, to explain a concept, for me to understand the concept by putting it down graphically, So take what I read and put it graphically, there you go. It aids in teaching and aids in facilitating better understanding and comprehension for myself. All right, we have here. So if the claims be true, this means that this is not true. If that be true, I mean that if the federal government is the Moorish government, that means that what I have on this will is not true. That the 13 states, so keep in mind that there was a proposal made to amend the Articles of Confederation. The Constitutional Convention was that. So the proposal to amend the Constitution, the Articles of Confederation, led to the Constitutional Convention. So we, the people of the United States, a more perfect union. Remember, they already had a union. The Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union. That's the official name. The Articles of Confederation. Articles of Confederation is not the full name. It's not the full name. So let's say the full name. Saying the full name helps in understanding the point. The Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union. So from this day forth, we're going to say the full name. The Articles of Confederation and Perpetual Union. So the Union was already, the Articles of Confederation was drafted in 1777 and was not ratified until 1781. So that more perfect union. So a union had already been established under the Articles of Federation. It proved too weak because remember, keep in mind, when the Articles of Confederation was drafted, it was during wartime. They did not want to have those British subjects in rebellion to their mother, Great Britain, did not want to draft an instrument whereby the central governing body would resemble a monarch. Remember, they're fighting a monarch. They're fighting a monarch. They're fighting their mother, the monarch. All right? So they did not want an instrument that would resemble a monarchy. They did not want a strong, this was done deliberately. That's not because they're dumb men. It's done deliberately. You understand? They're drafted to it. Understand the time period in which it was drafted. They did not want to create a strong central governing body that would have more power than the states. So the states had more power. But, now when you have the issue of the Treaty of Paris, I'll go into that. All right, so you see here, we the people of each of the states. So this representing we the people of the United States is the forming of a more perfect union whereby the states are delegating. So we the people of the United States, that phrase, the states are delegated more power towards the central governing body through the principles of federalism. They didn't surrender it. It's a delegating of more power to create a stronger central governing body. That was not done in 1777. They didn't want to do that. But they didn't have they didn't have these issues that was at their doorstep. Remember, they're at war. So they're constantly accumulating debt. So now the dust settles. Whew. It settles. The war is over. Oh, man. The treaty is signed. It's ratified in January 1784. Whew, man. Wow. Oh, shucks. We got the war debts. And we got this treaty here, and states are violating the treaties, and the treaty between Great Britain, 1783 treaty between Great Britain and the United States. The states are slow to foot because now the United States and Congress assemble it's like begging the states to send up, please, 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 we got to pay these war debts. Please, please send the money up to pay these war debts. Like, there's no, the central governing body is too weak, and the central governing body could not put sanctions or send troops in, or it was like only make requests, requests, don't violate the treaty, and just making requests. They didn't have teeth. But when you got war debts to pay, and you got the principles of the law of nations and this treaty at your foot that could lead to another war with Great Britain. So now they got these dynamics to deal with, whereas those were not the dynamics in 1777. They were borrowing finance, constantly borrowing. Spain is helping them. France is helping them. They're borrowing. Now, pay back. So understand the dynamics. Where do we fit into this? I mean, my brothers, where in? So, show the screen. Go to the right tab. So I have to set the scene.
Hold on.
It goes there to the right up.
Wait a minute, which one of these?
No, we're gonna go
Oh,
to the
oh,
right up
the-
first.
hold on, wait a minute, I got
Go
you.
to the main tab. So I should say
I
main
got you. I
text.
got you. I'm
Right up,
switching
main
over to it.
text. Yes.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Wrong one. Wrong one.
So this, I want y'all to just follow me. Let this sink in. Here we go. Article 1 of the 1783. Remember, keep this in mind. I want you to. Is this our government? So I want you to set your mind as that this is our government, that the Moors are the founders. Place your mind as that. The Moors are the founders. The federal government is the Moors. This is the Moorish government. We, the people of the United States, are the Moors. I want you to set your mind there and analyze what I'm saying with that mindset. Article 1 of the 1783 Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and the United States. The English British colonies along the Atlantic Sea coast. His Britannic Majesty acknowledges the said United States, viz., which means Latin for namely, New Hampshire, Massachusetts Bay, Rhode Island and Providence, Plantation, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia to be free, sovereign, independent states, that he treats with them as such, and for himself, his heirs and successors, relinquishes all claims to the government, propriety, and territorial rights of the same in every part thereof. Map showing, so you have the 13 states along the Atlantic Sea coast. So this here, how do we fit into this? I mean, it's our land. That's how they're. I mean, Great Britain is not, returning the land to the Moors. Right? Great Britain is not returning the land to the Moors. The right for New York State, South Carolina State, Georgia State, Maryland State to operate upon the land is through this treaty, not from the Moors. Like, show me something, y'all. Show me some treaty, something, y'all. Show me anything. Anything, y'all, that New York State authority to operate upon the land is from the Moors. Show me anything where Georgia State authority operate upon the land is delegated to them by the Moors. South Carolina, North Carolina, Maryland, Delaware, please, someone show me something. See this treaty here? This is evidence here. This is the foundation of their authority to operate upon the land, to operate within, because they're assuming rights under, keep them, Great Britain, through British conquest and colonization, established the boundaries, surveyed, which is through conquest and colonization, Great Britain established the boundaries that New York State operates in. Great Britain established the boundaries that Georgia State operates in. Great Britain established the boundaries that South Carolina State operates, Maryland State operates, Delaware State operates. Come up, Great Britain established the boundaries through the charters. Within the charters laid out the Great Britain survey. Great Britain, took from the Dutch. The Dutch, great map makers, and we'll read that later on in a couple weeks. Great Britain taking the boundaries from the Dutch. Great Britain did that, not New York State, North Carolina State, Maryland State, South Carolina State. So the boundaries are in the boundary, are in the colony charters. Great Britain, His Britannic Majesty, relinquishes, thereby granting that authority for each of the states to assume rights under the colony charters. That's Great Britain. All right, where do we fit in? Like, where do we fit into this? Oh, it's our land. They're just transferring our land authority to the subjects. Where are Great Britain transferring, returning the land to us? So continue right along, Terrence. Terrence, pull up the charts. Pull up the written charts. Pull up the written charts so I can show them. All right, Article 1. No, you're not that one. Article 1 of the Definitive Peace Treaty. Do this. This one here. Article 1 of the Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and United States. You see, I have the connection here. So in this Article 1, as you read, His Britannic Majesty recognizes what? Recognizes the United States as independent, free, sovereign states. So His Britannic Majesty recognized the Declaration of Independence. Prior to that, His Britannic Majesty didn't recognize the Declaration of Independence. So Great Britain are now officially, through an official documentation, a treaty, acknowledges the United States as free, sovereign, and that as the 13 states as free, sovereign, independent states. You have His Britannic Majesty recognizes each of the 13 states as separate, independent, sovereign states, and that is drafted in the Articles of Confederation. They drafted in the Articles of Confederation to be free, sovereign, independent states. And so that United States viz, as I read in Article 1 of the Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and the United States, is in the Articles of Confederation. It was first drafted there. Article 1 is not the first drafting of that. That language is in Article 1 of the Articles of Confederation, the Perpetual Union. So they transfer that in Article 1 of the Definitive Peace Treaty between Great Britain and the United States, meaning that United States viz, all 13 in name, each of them are retaining their sovereignty, each of them. So His Britannic Majesty is not dealing with them collectively. His Britannic Majesty in Article 1 is not dealing with them as one entity. He treats with them individually in Article 1. I mean, he treats His Britannic Majesty, King George III, is relinquishing to Virginia, relinquishing to North Carolina, to South Carolina, to Georgia, to Maryland, to Pennsylvania State, South Carolina State, Georgia State, Maryland State, individually. He's treating with them individually. And that language is constructed in Article 1. He's not treating with them as a collective unit, as a collective unit, as a United States, as a collective unit. He's not treating with them as that. All right. Next one, Terrence. All right, so this is an example. New York State. King Charles I, King Charles II grants Duke of York, his brother, charter of 1664 to establish New York colony. Duke of York, James II, it was James II, grants a Nichols letters of patent. Nichols was the governor. Nichols, the governor of the Providence colony of New York, and grants Nichols a letters patent of 1664. Through that letters of patent, towns were created under that patent. Towns and townships created on that patent. King James II, who was formerly Duke of York, his brother died, transitioned in 1689. So King James, Duke of York is King James II now. All right. So King James II, formerly Duke of York, now King of England. All right. Charters, 16. So he now has to, create another charter because because that charter of 1664 was granted to him by his brother, but now he's king. So he has to create another charter, 1689, and then under that charter, he grants letters of patent to Thomas Duncan, who was governor of the province or colony of New York State, of New York, colony of New York. And under the Duncan patent of 1689, towns and boards of trustees were created. And a lot of those towns exist today. In Southampton and Rhode Island, they exist today and are and governed under. So there's board of trustees that was created under the Duncan patent and also the Nichols patent. The definitive peace treaty between Great Britain and United States protects these are personal rights. So these towns created under these letters of patent are personal rights. So these towns have personal rights. How does that relate to us? So they got towns on our land. They established these towns under this. So this is a continuation of conquest and colonization. It never ended. So how does it relate to us? So they set up shop. They continue the conquest and colonization. Because remember, United States is obligated. Society versus New Haven, 1823. Society of the Gospel of the Propagated Faith versus New Haven. The defense attorney for New Haven is like a lot of conscious and unconscious and Europeans. That defense attorney had that mindset of that defense attorney, thinking that the Revolutionary War extinguished pre-Revolutionary War rights. But those are personal rights. The Revolutionary War did not extinguish personal rights as what? Not 14, I'm not giving a reference, 1491, the Treaty of Grenada. The Treaty of Grenada of 1491, November 25th, I'm tying it in, y'all. You know I am. November 25th, 1491. Abu Muhammad, surrendered Grenada to Queen Isabel and King Ferdinand. But that surrendering of what? Territorial sovereignty, but it didn't surrender the Moorish personal rights. So the Moorish personal rights are protected in the 1891 Treaty of Grenada. You'll see there. Doesn't read Arab, doesn't read Spanish, doesn't read Black, Negro, Colored, Moors. And extraterritoriality clause is there, where Moorish law, where Moors will be tried under Moorish law. That's extraterritoriality. That's 1491. Hear me out, my brothers and sisters. All right, got to open this thing up. I can continue right along. So I just wanted to, and as a homework assignment, I have to tell you what, I'm going to give the homework assignment. The homework assignment would be, I'll reach out to y'all later on, and I'll sign each of y'all state. There's going to be two. I did one of them. So y'all don't, I'm not going to give out New York. I did New York for y'all. So you want to use New York as an example. Pull that back up, Terrence, so they can take a snapshot of that. I need them to take a snapshot of this. All right, take a snapshot of this, y'all. Even though the video will be available, but I'm saying take a snapshot because I'm going to give assigned states. There'll be 12, assigned 12. All right. And I want y'all to do just like this. Show this, so do this flow chart. So do the flow chart. So some research involved with it. You know. All right, so they got the snapshot. So we'll move right along. So we got 30 minutes. We can get this done. All right. Excerpt of Article 2 of the 1783 Peace Treaty. So I want y'all to keep in mind now, we read earlier that no other issue caused Congress, land grant offices, and courts more problems than dealing with land disputes and matters regarding predecessor government, lands granted by predecessor government, England, France, Great Britain. All right, so how does Spain, this is regarding our land. For them, it's land. For us, it's land. All right, so let's put the table. All right, so we'll put land in the circle. Put the word land in the circle. You put Moors, you put Europeans. So land is the issue for both of us. All right, so let's I want y'all to analyze this. Land is the issue for both of us. For them, it's conquest and colonization, maintaining the conquest and colonization of our land, maintaining the control of our land, the managing of it on our states. That's the issue. With us is reclaiming it, working to reclaim it, the blood rights, reclaiming our blood rights to the land. The United States and the United States Constitution, by construction, is set up to maintain that. I will not support that. The United States Constitution, by construction, and we'll get more into this when we go into the Northwest Ordinance and see that as a major issue. But by construction is to maintain the interests, because the United States is obligated to protect the personal right, because now the United States becomes the trustee through that treaty with Great Britain, the treaty with France, the article, the Louisiana Purchase Treaty, the Louisiana Purchase Treaty, Article 3. Great France cedes the Louisiana territory to United States. France didn't return it to us. Cedes it to United States. United States French subjects living in the Louisiana territory at the time became citizens of the United States through that treaty, Article 3 of that treaty. How does that? So they're using that society, United States, and the United States Constitution to maintain this. How can we use the United States Constitution to undo it? How can we use the United States and United States Constitution to undo it? By construction now, by construction. By its very nature, by its very construction, its purpose. Continue, Terrence. Excerpts of Article 2 of the of the 1783 Treaty of Paris. Can I have a reader? This is excerpts of Article 2 of the treaty in Great Britain and the United States.
Excerpt of Article 2 of the 1783 Peace Treaty. And that all disputes which might arise in future on the subject of the boundaries of the said United States may be prevented. It is hereby agreed and declared that the following are and shall be their boundaries, viz., namely, from the northwest angle of Nova Scotia, viz., namely, that angle which is formed by a line drawn due north from the source of St. Croix River to the highlands, along the said highlands which divide those rivers that empty themselves into the river of St. Lawrence, from those which fall into the Atlantic, to the northwesternmost head of the Connecticut River, thence sown along the middle of that river to the 45th degree of north latitude, from thence by a line due west on said latitude until it strikes the river Iroquois or Cataraqui, thence along the middle of said river into Lake Ontario, through the middle of said lake until it strikes the communication by water between that lake and Lake Erie, thence along the middle of said communication into Lake Erie, through the middle of said lake until it arrives at the water communication between that lake and Lake Huron, thence through the middle of said lake to the water communication between that lake and Lake Superior. And it goes on.
Excerpt of Article 2. It's a lot longer. Now, keep in mind, the United States and the United States Constitution, by its construction, set up to what? Maintain and to protect that interest. By its construction. All right. Where conscious Moors have been led into, they haven't done this level of study. They dive right into it, which is a mistake. They dive into the Constitution, just start reading the articles. They're just reading article and different sections of it. And they, in their mind, they're studying the United States Constitution. I refute their claim that they're studying the United States Constitution. I refute that claim. I'm refuting that. Right now, we're studying the United States Constitution. This is the study of the United States Constitution. We're studying the United States Constitution like a jurist. Like a jurist. Not like law school students. Law school students will take out the United States Constitution like conscious Moors and just read article. That's law school students. I'm talking jurists do this level of study. It's construction. This is how jurists studies, not law school students. Law school students don't study like this. They're not guided to study like this. Jurists studies foundation. So difference between a lawyer and a jurist. It's a difference. Different level of training. Right, continuing. So I need to say that. So what are we doing? Preparing y'all to be jurists as well, ambassadors, consuls, and teachers. You're going to be more advanced than a lot of these Europeans. They're not getting this level. a proposal to amend the Articles of Confederation led to the United States Constitution of 1787. I'll read this again. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. As I said before, I was taught, and as I taught thousands of people, that this is the Moor speaking. This is the Moor speaking, all right? And we are, this article, this preamble is the transfer of the Moorish government to the whole preamble of the Constitution of the United States is the transfer of the Moorish government to the Europeans. The Europeans did not have no union or a more perfect right union. All right. I'm gonna read. I have a reader. We have a reader. We have another reader.
Rutgers versus Waddington, Alexander Hamilton, anti-Tory statutes, the 1783 definitive peace treaty between Great Britain and the United States, the law of nations, historical society of the New York courts, state legislation that conflicts with the provision of a United States treaty is void. A test case, Rutgers v. Waddington, 1784, received wide publicity. Although Hamilton thought that the court had failed to uphold the Tories' rights under the treaty, anti-Tories nevertheless denounced the opinion. Rutgers and its stormy reception persuaded Hamilton that making treaties legally enforceable was the only means of protecting the interests of foreigners in state courts. Meanwhile, enforcement of the anti-Tory statutes led to continued British reprisals. After investigating Britain's complaints that the states have violated the treaty by enacting and enforcing the anti-Tory laws, John Jay issued his famous catalog of infractions to the Continental Congress. Jay had conducted a thorough investigation and informed the Congress of his conclusion that the states have violated the treaty first. By 1787, Great Britain had made clear that it would carry out its treaty obligations only if American states honored their commitments to the Tories. To help resolve this issue, Federalists exhorted the Continental Congress to adopt a constitutional provision making treaties superior to state constitutions and statutes and enforceable by individuals in state courts. In that end, the Congress passed a resolution calling upon the states to repeal laws that were repugnant to the treaty. More importantly, the resolution asserted that treaties are, quote, part of the law of the land and are not only independent of the will and power of such state legislatures, but also binding and obligatory on them, quote. This resolution was the forerunner of the treaty provision in the Supremacy Clause, which the Constitutional Convention included in Article 6 a few months later. Drawing on his experience in Rutgers, observing the results of the anti-Tory statutes, and convinced of the utter folly of 13 loosely joined independent states, Hamilton concluded that the new Constitution needed a supremacy clause buttressed by an independent judiciary. Consequently, he devoted much of his energy to supporting the supremacy clause. He subsequently explained his position at length in 4 separate issues of the Federalist Papers. For example, in numbers 22 and 80 of the Federalist, he discussed 2 related issues. First, for treaties to have any effect, courts must have the authority to apply them, and individuals generally must have the right to invoke them. Second, to avoid conflicts with other countries, foreigners must receive access to our courts and the right to invoke treaties as the rule of decision. Specifically, in number 22, he wrote, "A circumstance which crowns the defects of the Confederation remains yet to be mentioned, the want of a judiciary power. Laws are a dead letter without courts to expound and define their true meaning and operation. The treaties of the United States, to have any force at all, must be considered as part of the law of the land. Their true import, as far as respects individuals, must, like all other laws, be ascertained by judicial determinations. On the need to recognize foreigners' rights in courts, Hamilton wrote in number 80. Hamilton later made clear in number 80 that state and federal courts must acknowledge the rights of foreigners to invoke treaties to prevent such foreigners from complaining to their home countries about unjust treatment at the hands of the United States federal or state governments. Hamilton's dismay about the treaty violations was broadly shared by the framers and extended to some anti-federalists. One important anti-federalist opposed the Constitution as written, and the treaty power in particular, because the Supremacy Clause implicitly excluded the House of Representatives, and because nothing in the proposal expressly placed constitutional limits on the treaty power. He nevertheless acknowledged that treaties must have the force of law. The major proposals that became the focus of the debate in the Constitutional Convention recognized the importance of the treaty power. Both the New Jersey Plan, which favored states' rights, and the Virginia Plan, which favored a strong central government, elevated treaties to the status of law and made them over inconsistent state statutes. In sum, the framers were anxious to avoid disputes with foreign countries that might arise if we denied foreign citizens either treaty rights or access to our courts. Aside from avoiding conflicts with the other states, the framers desired to establish a uniform foreign trade policy and to encourage wealthy foreigners to do business with and move to the United States. The framers also wanted to demonstrate to the world the respect that the new nation held for the rule of law. To accomplish these objectives, the framers made treaties the supreme law of the land, enforceable by individuals in state and federal courts.
Now you see the importance of reading history, relating that led up to Article 6. And we're talking about Article 6 now. The history and jurisprudence of Article 6. The history and jurisprudence of Article 6. This is studying the Constitution. We're studying the Constitution. The history, write that down, the history and jurisprudence of Article 6. This is how, not law school students, so don't go to law school and expect you're gonna get this level. You're not. This is jurist level of study. They don't study this level like this in law school. This is jurist level. All right. So when there are issues of land disputes, they bring forth a jurist, looking at the Dungan pattern or Nickel pattern, society issue of society versus behavior, the Treaty of Paris and so forth, the issue, they bring forth a jurist. I'll continue right along. I want to finish this out. All right, paradigm 2, misconceptions taught to conscious Moors. All right, so conscious Moors have been taught to use the United States Constitution in place of the Moorish treaties for their protection. Moors are part and parcel of the United States and must live the life accordingly. We address this. Moors are we the people of the United States. And I said, this is only part 1, y'all. So, there's only part 1. So this is not I didn't mean to do that. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, loud and clear.
So, all right. I'm not done presenting, the evidence because I got part 2 and part 3. All right. So I laid out my claims in part 1. All my claims are laid out in part 1. I got part 2 and part 3, to finish the support. So I got to put that up front. Well, I listened to just part 1, and Abdullah, he didn't, because I'm doing this in parts. Remember, it's a 2-hour session, and I would not do it. One is it wouldn't make. I wouldn't do it in 4 or 5 hours. It's too much, to give it to you in parts so you can digest it. All right, continue. Terrence, I had to put that out there.
All right. Do you want to do
2 more parts
questions
now.
or you want to finish reading?
I want to finish reading. I want to jump. I'm going to jump to the end. Jump to the end. I'm going to jump to the end because I want this on tape.
Right here.
Continue. I'll tell you to stop. Right here. Go back up. All right. I want this on tape. All right. Can we have a reader? Then we'll open up. I want this on tape. This is already in For the Love of Moors. This is in the For the Love of Moors Telegram page and for our advanced study group Telegram page. I posted this yesterday. I posted these 16 questions yesterday in the 2 Telegram grades For the Love of Moors and our Telegram page, advanced study group. All right. So you can grab it there, and you also have the video, but you can see it. All right. All right, have a reader. I want this on tape.
Thought-provoking question for conscious Moors who believe the Moorish sovereignty is vested in the United States Constitution and that Moors are we the people of the United States in the preamble to the United States Constitution. 1. What article in the United States Constitution can we the Moors enforce to exercise our inherent, natural, divine right to self-determination? 2. What article in the United States Constitution can we the Moors enforce to reclaim our blood rights to the land and our Moorish estates? 3. What article in the United States Constitution can we the Moors enforce to legislate the decolonization of our land? 4. What article in the United States Constitution can we the Moors enforce to dissolve the 1783 definitive peace treaty between Great Britain and the United States, whereby His Britannic Majesty of England and Great Britain relinquished the 13 English/British colonies and the Northwest Territory to the prospective 13 original states through Article 1 of the treaty? 5. What article in the United States Constitution can we the Moors enforce dissolve the 1803 Louisiana Purchase Treaty between France and the United States, whereby France ceded the Louisiana Territory to the United States? Subjects living in Louisiana Territory became citizens of the United States. 6. What article in the United States Constitution can we the Moors enforce to dissolve the 1854 Guadalupe Treaty and the United States, whereby the United States of Mexico ceded large portion of land to the United States, whereby Mexican could become citizens of the United States or remain Mexican nationals and whereby the United States became the trustee, thereby obligated to protect the land right claims of the Spanish subjects granted by the Spanish crown through Spanish land grants during the 15, 16, and 1700s. 7, what article in the United States Constitution can we, the Moors, enforce to dissolve the 1818 treaty between Spain, the United States, whereby the treaty protects the personal land right claims of the Spanish subjects living in the Spanish Florida, granted by the Spanish crown.
You're
8,
breaking up, Pacola.
what article in
Hold
the
on.
United States Constitution?
Pacola, you're breaking up.
8, what article in the United States Constitution can we, the Moors, enforce to legislate the dissolution of Spanish land grants, French land grants, English/British land grants, and letters patent granted to Spain, France, England, and Britain subjects during the 1500s, 1600s, and 1700s. 9, what article in the United States Constitution can we, the Moors, enforce to reestablish diplomatic relations with nations with which we signed treaties during the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, and 1800s? 10, what article in the United States Constitution can we, the Moors, enforce, re-enter the family of nations as an old and original state under the reversion of sovereignty? 11, what article in the United States Constitution can we, the Moors, enforce to enforce Moorish treaties and reestablish Moorish consular courts? 12, what article in the United States Constitution can we, the Moors, enforce to legislation to establish diplomatic relations with non-treaty nations and thereby negotiate treaties with them? 13, what article in the United States Constitution can we, the Moors, Moorish embassies in the countries which we signed treaties during the 1500s, 1600s, and 1700s, and establish embassies in other countries through diplomatic relations and treaties? 14, what article in the United States Constitution can we, the Moors, enforce to legislate a Moorish passport? 15, what article in the United States Constitution can we, the Moors, enforce to legislate a Moorish post office? 16, what article in the United States Constitution can we, the Moors, enforce to legislate a Moorish Social Security Administration?
Thank you for making the correction. It's Moors, plural. So I'll make those corrections on the Telegram page. I'll make those corrections on the Telegram page. I said this is on the For the Love of Moors Telegram page, and for our Telegram page, the Advanced Study Group. All right. So we're gonna end there. We'll end there, Terrence. All right. Now we have the Telegram page. Who's on here? Who has the link? William, can you post the link to the invite link? The invite link that I sent you yesterday to the Telegram page in the chat. Who else will have William, you have that?
You say post it on the Telegram page?
No, in the chat. In this chat here, in the chat right now.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, just post it here. Just share it to the chat. This is the link. You're gonna post the link, the invite link for those who are not on the part of the Telegram page right now. William is about to post the invite link. So you just take that invite link, and then you can become members of the Moroccan Post Media, Moroccan Post School of Government International Law Advanced Study Group Telegram page. Because I want y'all, if you have questions, post the questions in the Telegram, on the Telegram page. Post your questions. I wanted to get through this. This is part one. This is part one. We got a lot more to go. All right. We got a lot more to go in the next two parts, but I wanted to lay out my claims. I wanted to also express my internal conflicts that I had for 25 years, because I thought that would help that make the presentation more effective, so you get into my mind, my internal conflicts, and even dealing with Moors and Mesa. I had never brought this out before. I've talked to Terrence about it. I've talked to Pacola about it, Shim about it, and others personally, but I've never done it openly and publicly about my internal struggles and conflicts and working over the years on Moors and Masonry Part 1. And I thought that was important, all right, to share that with you. And once again, I salute Shim Malachi Bey, for his hard work. I've also posted on For the Love of Moors and our Telegram page the Shim Malachi Bey's history. So that will be read at that will be placed in a booklet, and and that we'll put together a booklet that will sell at the conference, and that Shim's history over the past 13, 14 years history, so that's very important so that people throughout the world know that this is not something that we started yesterday. All right. So that there is a great deal of study, focus on that. So because I actually reread the Shim Malachi, to Shim's history that I actually wrote, back in maybe 4 or 5 months ago. We did that for Sister Najma's platform, and Shim was talking about his history. And I said, well, we need to put this in writing. It has a much greater impact when it's in writing, and it can be shared to more people. All right. So I wanted to, it's important to know his story and his history. So I want to salute him because, I'm able to now help teach and spread, and we're bringing forth other teachers. And I want to thank y'all for the work y'all been doing in your personal platforms and spreading this. Once again, just a request: share the flyer, post the flyer on your social media platforms, go live, talk about the conference, talk about your own words, and your own words of the conference, what the conference means to you, what we're doing to facilitate what it means to you, to help in aiding the facilitation of Moorish national political unity. So, like I said, so help us market the conference. All right. So we will post this on the Telegram pages. After we're done, I'm gonna post it immediately on the Telegram pages. You don't have it, but most of you should have this flyer. All right. Also sent a Shim dictated to me about 2 months ago, and I shared that to a few people. And I also shared that about the flyer, the conference being a political mechanism. And I don't remember it all, but I'll post that as soon as we get done on both Telegram pages. And I will always bring up For the Love of Moors. I spent, and I want to once again tip my feds to Brother Vicerious, who have stepped up. He did a wonderful job a week, almost 2 weeks ago.
Why is this person sitting in jail? You know what I'm saying?
Put the phone on mute. Mute your phone, please. Did a wonderful job, and I'll repost that. He did on my Facebook page. He did a wonderful job in and he has a great understanding, a great grasp of that definitive peace treaty between Great Britain and the United States. He did a wonderful job. So I you know, Quasi and Brother O'Connell and Okola and Anitria, you know, and you know, and Mia Moore and Sister Sand and Brother Williams but I want to also tip my fez to to Brother King, who did 2 parts on the Moorish Monday platform. I mean, you know, so we're gonna be bringing Brother Michael in. So we're gonna have a host of teachers. You know, we have to, it can no longer be Shem and myself. We have to have other teachers, and I want to thank y'all for stepping up. In order for us to do this, we need your help. We need your help. You know, so I am challenging y'all, encouraging y'all to step up. All right. We have, once again, the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. So we have the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. Go to those. Those are free classes on there. Share those to your Facebook page. Let other people know. Share the wealth. All right. Also, my website, mooresandmasonry.org, for my books. Go to mooresandmasonry.org. Any last words, Terrence?
You did your thing, brother. I have nothing.
All right, so this video will be available between either tomorrow or Saturday. Either tomorrow or Saturday, this video will be uploaded on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. Thank you once again. We'll look forward to part 2, all right? Part 2 of this 3-part series, all right, in 2 weeks. Once again, the classes are every first and third Thursday of the month, all right? I did post the link to the Folder Lover Moors, and so we're growing, and we'll continue to push this. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. I bow to you. I bow to y'all greatly. We need you. We need you. We need you. We cannot do it without you. Peace, everyone. I love all of y'all. Peace.
Thank you, brother.
Islam, peace.
Peace.
Million more.
Peace, Morris.
Peace, peace, peace.
First peace.
Peace, more peace, Islam.
Peace, Islam.
Peace.
Campaign and the White House is that they are not looking to these criminal cases against Trump to play a role in this election. They do not think that that is going to be what this is going to turn on.